Hey guys, welcome to a new edition of React Today as part of the World's Wide project, Stand Up Politics, an original creation of React Today. Okay, many things have happened in the late week since the last edition of React Today as part of the World's Wide project and since the last edition of Stand Up Politics. Why will be interesting to go with the Stand Up Politics? Because Stand Up Politics is something that we need also to discuss. Donald Trump just shared an image of him. He's the new Jesus Christ. Oh my God, he is the guy. If he doesn't win the elections in November, the midterms, there's gonna be bloodshed in America. If he doesn't win the next presidential elections, there's gonna be blood in America. If he doesn't win, whatever, the war in Iraq, the war in Syria, the war in whatever. Why? Because Iraq is part. You might say, well, what did you say about the war in Iraq? Because the war in Iraq is still going, and Iraq is attacking American bases there. Why? Because Iran is attacking American bases out of the 13 places. Some other people say 17, some others say 13. John Mersheimer said 13. Professor Mohammad Marandi said 17. Whatever bases are in those places in the Gulf. I'm talking about Saudi Arabia, we all know, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and all these people that give their land and let the Americans take over. That cannot happen when it comes to Iran, because Iran is not a fool. Everybody's talking about Venezuela, but I have to say, like I said, in the day that it happened, when the new president of Venezuela, this woman, decided to say American companies are welcome, that was very disappointed. I think that we all, Europeans, etc., were expecting a little bit more from the new president, even though she is a woman. But she is the daughter, along with his brother, and the son of the president of Venezuela, Mr. Nicolás Maduro, and his wife, who were kidnapped on the 3rd of January 2026. Well, doesn't sound well. Iran is not Venezuela, and Venezuela has it's been very disappointing to see Venezuela just give up and let the American corporations take over the most powerful and wonderful country that could be Venezuela, if it only have sovereignty and independence. But it doesn't have sovereignty or independence, and that is treason to the country. What happened with all the hundreds of thousands and millions of people that they said they were ready to fight? Well, apparently they all gave up. There's no resistance, there's no movements that said, hey, government, we don't want the Americans here, take them out of the oil companies. The oil is ours, we want it for ourselves. But no, there's no resistance movements. The Venezuelans just gave up. In the case of Colombia, there will have been guerrillas or something like that will, of course, fight for their resources. But it didn't happen in Venezuela, and that is very disappointing, because the cartel of the soles, which included Nicolás Maduro and the government of Nicolás Maduro, which is still in place, gave up. And the people and the resistance were given weaponry and weapons. What are they going to do with those weapons? What are they going to do? Are they going to create guerrillas? Are they going to fight back against the government? That's up to the Venezuelan people. But the government itself is very disappointed. I'm very disappointed on the Venezuelan people and the government of Venezuela to let American corporations and representatives of the corporations to take the most important reserves of oil around the world that have been verified, and that is Venezuela's. That didn't happen with Iran. Iran produces oil, produces gas, and many other rare earths that the Americans want. I mention again Zambia. Okay, USAID said, okay, the part that Mr. Elon Musk decided to keep is the CIA and the special operations of the CIA and American intelligence with others associates, especially Mossad and MI5 and 6 in England, and is to take over the resources of Zambia. Well, Zambia is going to be deciding in the next few days, if didn't already have done, is that to say, okay, we need you to take aids out of our health system. So because you produce the vaccines and ACT vaccine in order to prevent our people to become a pandemia on AIDS, we have to give you all the resources because that's what you want. You want the resources of Zambia, you want the oil, the rare earths, whatever is there, the agricultural, everything wants to be American. So Zambia has to say, if you want to be safe from AIDS, you give us all your resources and it's going to be okay. Iran is not like that. And the bases that exist around Iran are like 34 to 40 bases, American bases, and the interest, of course, of the Jewish state, the most genocidal. And I don't know why nobody has put this mustache of Adolf Hitler into the face. I don't have that face. I bring it next time, of Benjamin Netanyahu with the feuders mustache, because that's what he is, and it's even worse. And the fact that it's happening in the 21st century has no excuses for us, the country and the world, to accept. That guy is a genocidal, along with Donald Trump. Now is the new Jesus, and according to the Bible, if anybody reads the Bible, and if Pastor Hagee reads the Bible, and if all those rich, super rich pastors read the Bible, and the Christian evangelicals and the Catholics and all these people that support Donald Trump read the Bible, that they will know that according to the New Testament, the new pact is anathema, and that means that it's an antichrist. But Jesus told us that there will be many antichrists coming along, and the false prophets, etc., which are described in the book of the Apocalypse, the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation speaks clearly about how there always have been many apostasies, and people like these Catholics and Christian evangelicals, like Pete Hexet, who is making a lot of money with investments that he making buying stock with his stockbroker in weaponry. When it comes to the military-industrial complex, is making a lot of money, but the problem is that the wars against Iran are not working as they expected. And I'm talking about everybody in the administration of Donald Trump, in the false Jesus and the false prophets and everybody that accompany him, that put their hands on Donald Trump. I am Jesus. Yes, you are, Mr. Trump. Yes, you are. I wonder what these pastors are going to say to their communities once they get out of the White House. Are they going to go, yeah, the new Jesus is Donald Trump? Oh my God. And these people are going to believe it. The Christians evangelicals are going to believe it. And they're going to congregate by the hundreds of thousands and going to believe it. The same happened with the Catholic Church, even though we know that the Pope has been attacked by Donald Trump, because Donald Trump said, hey, if you don't support me, I'm the new Jesus. And the new Jesus says, I'm going to take your place, dude. And your place is going to be mine. I'm going to sit in the Vatican City, and now you're displaced because you wouldn't be a pope if it wasn't for me. That's what he just said yesterday. Today, too, he's repeating it. So what we're seeing is an anathema that was announced by the prophets, and it was announced also by Jesus, and it's in the book of Revelation, etc. So when you see that the Pope is also American, I don't trust that Pope. I don't believe in that Pope. I don't believe in the many popes. The religions in any denomination, whether Muslims, Christians, or Jews, the Jews are open with this. They're more Talmudic than Pentateuchal, if you want to mention it. The Pentateuch, it's the first 5 books of the Bible. And the religion has been used and abused and misused in every way when it comes to politics. And the Catholic Church has always been like the evangelical churches and etc. All churches, including Islam, when it comes to the Sunnis and the Arabic countries, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, the majority are Sunnis, and the Sunnis killed the descendant of the Muhammad in 680, I believe, somewhere there. Oh, he's the son of the inheritance. Let's kill him and we keep the inheritance. Just like in the book of the Bible, when Jesus puts the parable of the bad administrator, or administrators, plural, which means, the Sunnis, which are the majority of the Muslims in the world, which counts almost 1,900 million Muslims, 1.9 billion Muslims. The Catholics insist that they are the majority, and the Christian evangelicals insist that they're growing. There are 400, 500 million around the world. But all of them have been deceived. All of us have been deceived in the past. I grew up believing in all that lie and crap, because it's what it is. You have to remember that Donald Trump crapped literally from an F-16 on the people that opposes him. And again, that's going to be blood if he doesn't win the middle terms and the next presidential election. When you see that's happening, there's nothing but the Antichrist right here. This prophecy company coming together. Big headset. Praise, hallelujah, hermano. Yeah, man, we're going to become the most important country in the world. We are the most powerful country in the world. The Pope has to support us, and if he doesn't, what the fuck, man? We went to war. I'm a crusader for the Christian, Catholic, and evangelicals should come together. We have to form just one religion, and all that crap. J.D. Vance is also a fanatic that says that, yeah, the evangelical Christians are right, that Jesus is Trump, and now that Trump is going so crazy. Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, they are all running for a place to find when justice comes for them. The problem is, like I mentioned before, when Donald Trump dies or has a heart attack, if he finishes his term, or if he is demoted from his position in office by the 25th Amendment of the American Constitution, like it happened in Canada with a parallel with the Prime Minister Trudeau. I am a Zionist. No Zionist, no Jew should be unwelcome in Canada or feel ashamed of being a Zionist. I am a Zionist. I am a Zionist. I'm a genocidal person. I like to kill and aim to the girls in the chest, in the abdomen, in the eyes, in the head, and I want to throw 350 bullets to their parents and the people that surrounded them because they're different, they're not us. So I am Zionist, and the people, no Zionists should be feeling bad for being Zionists in Canada because we are Zionists. I am a Zionist, so I will kill and destroy anybody that opposes me and Donald Trump and interests of the European Union, because the European Union is as corrupt as I am and as the Americans are. So I am a Zionist and no Zionist. That's what the ex-Prime Minister said in the last administration here in Canada. But the actual Mark Carney doesn't oppose that either. He just said, we middle powers need to understand that we are being menaced and threatened by our own big daddy ally, which Mark Rutte clean his boots every time from NATO, every time he can, and spit on them and lick with his tongue. And shine the Donald Trump's, that all these people that do not represent the European Union. And I believe so, unless you people in Europe believe that Mark Rutte, von der Leyen, Kaja Kallas, all these people do represent you. These people and what Donald Trump is representing is nothing but the corruption of the rich, the entitlement and the idiocy and the satanic and the demonic attitude of these people against us, the country and the world. And they speak about us. J.D. Vance was speaking about us just recently, saying it's for the people of the United States, the American people, and all is for American people. Have you seen the American people lately? Have you, Mr. Carney, seen and run the roads in Canada lately? Don't you know that we are becoming a third world country? Don't you know, Europeans, that I told you that 5 years ago when I was fighting for the pandemic, against the pandemic? 5, 4, 3 years old in my discourses. Exactly that you, Europeans, as we Canadians, and there in the United States, New Zealand, and Australia, and England and the UK, who arrested 500 people just this weekend. 80-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 5 cops, tough fuckers, arresting 60, 80, 70-year-olds. Put them in jail and maybe process them for 14 years to 14 years in prison, because that's the anti-terrorist law that the Jewish put in England, that the Jews put in the European Union, in the United Kingdom. 27 countries in the European Union, including northern ones like Holland, Finland, and all these countries that were known Like Spinoza. You remember Spinoza, Holland? Oi, Holland. Oi. Do you remember? Oh, how can you be that stupid, people in the European Union? And there's no other way to say it. And you are not stupid, but what happened with your leadership? I just heard the president of Spain speaking about the guy with the 2 cows just like a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. Speaking about the guy that has 2 cows. And when the guy said, hey, why only you have 2 cows? And the guy looked to the horizon, and the guy says, the president of Spain. And the guy didn't see anything but the 2 cows, and he was happy with the 2 cows. And he made that parallel and that parable, if you might say so, comparing the European nations nowadays. And I disagree with that, because Europe is even worse. They are making money just for the few. And now that the president of Hungary have lost the elections and he has conceded that he was defeated, Hungarian president, Jesus, I forgot his name, that sided with the Jews, that has very good ideas against the European Union, because the European Union is so corrupt with van der Leyen and all these people, that Friedrich Merz and Mark Rutte, all these guys do not represent anybody in Europe. Europe has gone in decadence when it was the light of the world for many centuries, not anymore. And that is because of the power of corruption of the great capital that has been given to particulars. That is corruption. I have said before, everything that has to do with the people, Mark Zuckerberg, all the super rich people that has made money, the Thiel, all these guys, I will put his names on the screen, Peter Thiel, that don't pay taxes, but we do pay taxes, has to change. And whether you like it or not, Europe, whether you like it or not, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and the United States, we need to learn something about somebody that has taken the guts and said, hey, F you all, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to nationalize our production. We're going to produce our own weapons. We're going to produce our own army. Not 5% like Donald Trump says, but we're going to keep it on 2%, and according to what is first. And what is first is the citizens of our country. Nationalism. Remember nationalism, which means not only the national socialism of Hitler, no, or the national universalism of Netanyahu, but President Trump nor Netanyahu are going to change anything. Whomever comes after them is going to be worse than Trump or than Netanyahu. Because in the case of Israel, they want the world. And they want to brag with other civilizations that are like them. I don't know if it's the grace, I don't know, but if you saw my program about 5-6 years ago about the ETs, you will understand what I'm talking about. And if you want to ask me, and I will talk to you. Because Mike deGrasse Tyson or whatever is not going to give you explanation. He's going to come with his stupid laugh. I'm so wise and so stupid that I can convince you that I'm stupid. And because I'm stupid, you can be stupid. But no, there's no ETs, there's no other races. There's nobody has shown me one. Let's have some tea with them. When you have idiots like that trying to tell us, the country and the world, that there's no other civilizations. Like Giordano Bruno said in the 1600s. Oh, but there's no proof. I believe in them. I have seen them myself at least really 6 or 7 times in my lifetime. Here in Canada, 3. And in many other places, the other 4. And I have seen that it's not human-made. The testimonies, the stories. Now, I don't believe in these new guys that come from intelligence, from America. No, we cannot believe in these people. Why? Because they are corrupt to the core. We cannot believe in NASA. We cannot believe whatever mission was what they did around the moon, if they went there, if they really went there. Whatever. We live in a world of lies because we are guided by liars. We are guided by the stupid, rich, asshole idiots that don't know what is to serve the other. They want to be served. And everybody in the Muslim religion, like it's happening with the Sunnis. What happened when Iran started attacking all the bases, American bases, in Bahrain, in Saudi Arabia, in the United Arab Emirates, etc., 13 bases. Others speak about 17. I said it before. What do you think is going to happen? Oh, it's worse to be American friend. That is better if we get side with Iran. Who's going to say that? The Sunnis. The Sunnis that killed the descendant of Mohammed, and then are saying that because they're super rich and they have beautiful buildings and look at us, we have so much money and all the economy thrive on oil. And the people that live there are the majority of them in all of those countries are immigrants from Pakistan, from India, from many other countries which live in poverty in horrible conditions. What do you think is going to happen? If these people that are the majority inhabitants of those countries revolt, those countries are going to be in trouble. And their beautiful cities and their beautiful made up and the beautiful, how do you say that, kingdoms are going to fall down like a house of cards. And they don't want that. And they have weapons. But those weapons are controlled by the Americans. And the Americans are going to, once they start being attacked, Trump has to make a decision whether he invade not only Iran in order to stop it, and now that Iran is controlling the Hormuz Strait, okay, and asking for $2 million per ship to come in or come out in order to transit, and China is going to be benefited, and not the Americans and not the Europeans. Not to mention that Ansar Allah can take the Red Sea and control the Red Sea and the oil that goes and comes to and from the Red Sea. That will mean that the economy of the world is going to go into shambles, and the 1929 of the last century crisis is going to be nothing compared to the crisis that we already live in when Canadians and Americans are paying more than $4 for a gallon, for a liter. For a gallon, I correct here, in the case of America, for 50, and it's growing up. Right now, today, the price of oil is $150, dude. That means that everything is going to go crazy. And not only that, if it's $150 is going to raise your price of living in homes, in rent, in everything. What is the world going to do? Praise the new Lord, praise the new heaven, praise the false prophets, Hagi and all these people. Israel is the way to follow. When Israel is a genocidal country, and these people should be arrested immediately according to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide of 1948. Will they be arrested according to the United Nations? Will they be arrested according to the countries that are not signatory? But if one of them goes to one of those countries in the case of a Rome Statute, will be arrested? Yes, they will and they should. These are war criminals that are so rich that they call themselves democracies. The only democracy in the Middle East. Bullshit. Secular countries existed in the Middle East. People live in peace with Jews and Muslims except for the Jews. The Jews were living in peace too. But since the Zionist Jews became the leaders more than 140 years ago with Mr. Herzl, so everybody has to believe in the new Jesus. No, but Jesus, we can just skip Jesus and take the 12 tribes of Abraham. And after we believe in the 12 tribes of Abraham, it's okay. Even though these guys have never existed after they were dispersed all around the world. And the tribes of so-called Abraham finished their line when Jacob became Israel. That's it. And especially when, according to the interview with Tucker Carlson, this person says that it's already completed. It's for you to decide. You can ask your pastor, you can ask your bishop, but the bishops and the pastors are for the money too. These people are so corrupt, man. They all are, including in the Sunnis, so corrupt, they all are, that they have to accept, like Qatar said, hey, maybe we made a mistake fucking around with Iran, man. These guys are on the right side. We're taking a lot of bombs. We're going to take a lot of punishments, and our beautiful cities and our beautiful standard of living is going to go to the hell because, oh my God, we're being attacked, and our electricity and our desalination plants and the same that they're doing to Iran. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done to you. That's the first commandment of Jesus Christ. Love God with all your mind, your health, and your spirit, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. But that doesn't happen in Donald Trump's world. He's the new leader of the world. He's the new Satan. And he has a team of working for them. Mark Zuckerberg, the YouTube owners, Palantir, all Jews, man. And I'm not saying against the Jews. Yeah, I am, have to say, because 82% of the people are for the war against Palestine. But now that they're being attacked and receiving bombs, they're flying to the United States, flying to Canada, moving to all the places in Europe again. So they are creating a new diaspora after the war with Iran. That means that Iran is showing and is kicking ass, not only against the false Christians and the false prophets of Christianity, like Hagee and the president and all the people that put their hands on the President Trump and always put a hand on all these assholes that are American presidents for the last, since 1776. I will say after the Second World War. I will say before. I will say since the Balfour Declaration, which is that a declaration. It was not a binding document, but for some reason everybody made it happen. England needed the money from the Jews, so the Majors and the Rothschilds, well, the Majors and Rothschilds are the same thing, and the different branches that they have all around the world, the Sassoon brothers, the Sassoon family, and all these people, and they say that we have the money that you need, but you have to give us return. So yeah, we trade all the partners, we trade all the Arab countries, and give us that opportunity of land. We're going to take over time, don't worry. In 1948, the state of Israel became the state of Israel, not by the hand of God, but by the hand of the devil, man. Mammon. And now we see the results of all that crap. Now, what Canada is doing right now, and I'm speaking from Canada, is doing the same. Is it? Because right now, there's one of these rich guys, Kevin O'Leary or some idiot like that, is coming along with other movements that I spoke from to make myself known in what is that I'm saying here today, and that is that the state of Israel is the worst enemy, number one enemy of the world, along with the United States and along with the European leaders. We cannot take the European leaders away from this, and you European people know that. Your standard of living is going down. Your knowledge is going down. Your leadership doesn't exist anymore. The only president that is doing something about it is the president of Spain. And he's not doing that much, because we have found out that even though he speaks against what is going on, and that's the war against Iran and the state of Israel, he's still abiding by some laws and letting some oil and letting some ports to transfer weaponry or technology to Israel. The same is happening with Turkey. The same is happening with all these countries, Arabs, the Gulf countries that are in trouble right now. When we see this happening, we have to look around the world and say, is somebody doing something? Is somebody saying something? Is somebody following the truth, the gospel, the reality that we have to fight and confront the bully? There's only one, and I have found that. And that is President Gustavo Petro of Colombia. This guy pushed the belt well more than 20 years ago and said to the capitalists and the corruption of the extreme capitalism, the savage capitalism that all popes have defended throughout history. And he said, okay, I know what Christianity is. I have read the Bible. He's a very well-educated man, the same as the people that went to talk to J.D. Vance this last weekend, being today the 13th of April 2026. But hey, you cannot produce any uranium. You cannot keep producing long distance missiles. You cannot produce medium, no, and you cannot produce short. No, you have to give up. We're going to take you over. We're going to take yours out. We're going to fuck you up. We're going to put another Shah, his son, and you're going to be our bitch. That's what we want. So Iran says, hey, beginning with the delegation, it's J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is, I don't know. I think I will do a better job if I was in America. Marco Rubio is a corrupt Cuban asshole that is more American than Cuban. And he is for America to be the same as always. Take over, corrupt, poverty for the people, submission, slavery, Jewish state. That's what Jewish state is. Israel is nothing but receiving more than $300 billion, 360 by now, plus the big, which is after October the 7th, way more billions of dollars. We cannot say anything about it because we are anti-Semites. Well, I am corruption. I am anti killing and women and aiming and women and children. I'm anti-genocide, and if that makes me anti-Semite, well, I am anti-Israel Semite. State of Israel Semite, yes, I am. Publicly, yeah, and I say it publicly. I'm anti-Israel, anti-state Semite, genocidal, yes. I am, according to the United Nations, according to the Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of 1948, according to the Nuremberg trial, now has to be 4.0, because we need to apply and defend ourselves from artificial intelligence, from Peter Thiel, all those Jews assholes, the donors, the people that control intelligence and surveillance in America, which are Jews. I'm sorry, but Zionists, okay, let's make a difference between the two. There are some people that are Jews, but they're against Zionism. Yeah, they're just trying to survive, etc. But we need to identify who they are, like they identify who we are. I am the most censored Canadian speaking person and YouTuber in Canada, thanks to Bill C-11, but thanks to Bill C-18, and thanks to Bill 63, and many others that have been arrested in the case of Yves in Quebec, etc. We need to create a new party in Canada. And as I told you, the wars for independence are back. People in Europe, in the 27 countries, people in New Zealand, people in Ireland, Northern Ireland, in the UK, people in Australia, people in Canada, and people in America. If we don't react today to these matters, we're going to be treated just like Israel is treating Gaza, just like Israel is treating Lebanon. We already on a ceasefire, killed more than 200 people, is attacking civilian buildings, is attacking ambulances, rescuers. Israel is not a rogue, it's a demonic entity that needs to be literally, in my opinion, destroyed, because it has broken all the laws of the United Nations in front of us, and it still brags about it with the United States, the most powerful and corrupt country in the world, as I have said it to George Galloway 3-4 years ago. If there's a country that needs regime change, it's the United States of Israel, because the United States is not of America. It's a corrupt country to the core. To the core. There needs to be a new party, a new creation of the American state. That means a civil war. I don't know how is it that this hasn't happened. In Canada, it's the same. Canada is protecting Israel to the core and is protecting all the fake investments, like I said. This Kevin O'Leary is coming with a new idea that we have to create new spaces for artificial intelligence fabrics. That are going to use 400,000 people water, the amount of water that people uses in 1 year, 400,000 people in 1 year. If they use it on the daily basis, that's what they're going to use a year to produce their artificial intelligence methods in order to cool the system down. And not only that, it's going to pollute because it produces gases and heat that is going to change the weather in the zones that they are created. Like we don't have any other sources of energy or to produce energy, which we do with Nikola Tesla more than 100 years ago. I have spoke about this for hundreds of years. I'm sorry, for the last 11 years. But to not understand this, in Canada, one of the most developed countries in the world, where now they're taking $200 off the age system. The social net in Canada is being attacked literally by these idiots capitalists that want to take over the world. And, of course, those idiots capitalists, first root, the state of Israel. Second root, the state of the United States of Israel. Third root, all the European Union, the UK, and Australia and New Zealand. When did that happen? In the last 100 years. Since the Balfour Declaration, specifically, since the book written by Theodore Herzl. And Argentina, oh my God, go take Argentina, kill and destroy the Patagonia. It's a treasure. Who cares? There's not even Spanish titles there to guide you. It's Hebrew letters to take you here and to take you there. They have been caught with grenades and incendiary items in Argentina, in La Patagonia, burning it all down, and the people are crying and losing their property. And the president of Argentina just said to President Trump that he's going to be welcome and that Argentina is going to stick with the principles of Israel. Period. The state of Israel that is, take the world, take the universe, take everything through force. Kill us all, motherfuckers. And there can only be one. In the end, what the American people don't understand, and the presidents and the idiots that work for Israel there, and the media, and the governors, and the 53 states that now are more, you cannot speak against Israel or you're going to be jailed. You cannot speak about Israel or you're going to be poor. You cannot have your bank account. Everything's going to be controlled by us. And if you speak against Israel, you're not an American. Okay, what the fuck? Is America America or is Israel? The America has always, in my opinion, as we said in this program, has always been a subsidiary of Israel, but especially after the Balfour Declaration, when they see all the money and the power they have accumulated over the centuries. Not only that, they have apparently contacts up there with other people, like I saw in my program. I explained my program 5-7 years ago. And now the new revelation is that Donald Trump is the new Messiah. Oh my God, we have a new Messiah, dude. His name is Donald Trump. And his son, what is his name? Titus? No, his name is Titus. Remember, he went out of wood when he wanted to crucify every Christian. Oh, there's no more wood to crucify any more people, man. What the fuck? Well, I don't know. You see olive trees. I'm laughing, but it's not laughing matter. When we see this happening, guys, react today, for Christ's sake. Today to these matters, against these matters. Vote for me. Create a new party. Or otherwise, we're going to be possessed. Not only by the state of Israel, but by a foreign entity, an invasive species. I have said that is the state of Israel, with the help of his friends, which is Donald Trump, and Mark Rutte, and the European Union, and von der Leyen, and all the people that have not been voted for, that are creating economies. All the far right, Le Pen, and all these people. Oh, we are for the farmers. Here in Canada, the water, 250 billion liters a year, only in the oil and gas industry, including the oil sands, the extractive economy, and the fracking, which is still working in Canada. Oh my God! And it's going to dry the lake. It will dry all lakes if we keep using fossil fuel. Who said, hey, assholes, react today? In the United Nations, President Gustavo Petro from Colombia, a third world country. You should learn something from them. You Europeans, you politicians in Europe, you citizens in Europe. Yeah, I don't give a damn. You conquer us, or you conquer them, because I was born in Colombia, even though I'm from European descent. Deutschland, not Deutsch. Deutsch is German, Dutch is Holland, Deutschland. And I still say, hey, Europeans, assholes, don't you understand that you're being treated like third world countries? Well, a third world country that has known what terrorism means since 1492, Colombia is telling you, the country and the world, hey, assholes, idiots, don't you understand you're being treated like third world countries? But apparently you Europeans, you Canadians, I am Canadian, Americans, don't get it. The leaders of this world are treating you as vassals. And if we don't react today and take over our governments, we're going to be conquered by the state of Israel, which is nothing but a foreign entity that wants to kill us all. And it will not hesitate doing it. It's using artificial intelligence structures that take a lot of water, millions of gallons of water, more than 250. It's 10%. What we produce here in Canada, 250 billion liters a year. Billion with B. It's going to be 10% of that, according to this O'Leary asshole, with the governor of Alberta, Mrs. Smith, another corrupt person that wants to be American. And all the movements that support this idiocy is nothing but the terraforming of the planet through heat, through the extinction and of water sources, and to dry the world as Mars is dry right now. Don't you see that? We're being terraformed, we're being killed and assassinated, and the new governments are saying that they're the new Jesus. This is nothing but the demonic manifestation of the apocalypse. The book of Revelation is accomplishing its goal, and that is for us to react today to these matters. Many things to speak about. I don't know if I forget many of the points that I'm saying here, but thank you, Iran, because you stood your ground against evil. And you're showing us Christians, evangelicals, Christian Catholics, whether you like it or not, what rightfulness is all about. But especially, you're showing your own people, the Sunnis, how wrong they are, how sold out they are, and they have been, and how skewed their understanding of Islam now that they control Medina, La Mecca, and nobody controls Jerusalem but Israel. And guess what? We Christians couldn't celebrate Passover or the Easter in Jerusalem two weekends ago. Why? Because Netanyahu said, F you Christians, F you Muslims, only Israel will prevail in this world. I don't think so, pal. Israel, the state of Israel, is number one enemy of the whole world and the galaxy. We have to tell his God to come and pick them up before we fire them from here. Otherwise, they're going to kill us all who oppose them. And that's what Netanyahu has not stopped doing. So to put a mustache of Hitler, the Führer, or Führer, would say in English, whatever, to him, is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the Europeans using the same mustache. Nothing wrong with putting in also with Donald Trump and his new cabinet, and Central and South America with Argentina, that president of Argentina, and whomever supports these moves, whether Christian evangelicals, Christian Catholics, all around the world, they are deceived. But we do not have to live with that. And one of the examples, and the only and the strongest, is not only President of Mexico, which is from, I understand, Jewish origin, but the Brazilian president. Nobody has done this. Nobody. In a strongest way, so explicitly and with such knowledge of the reality as President Gustavo Petro, when he said there's no elect people in the world. The elect people, the people is the people of God, and the people of God is everyone. And if you haven't read the gospel, read it again. And if you have read Genesis 12:3, you can go F yourself, because Genesis 12:3 ended there. I have explained that with the prophets. I didn't do that. It was the prophets. And they killed them from the synagogue to the temple. And even Jesus was killed. So I'm going to stop laughing. But idiocy and stupidity has to stop in the European countries. In the United Kingdom, he's arrested 500 elder people for opposing the state of Israel, a genocidal state that is killing everybody. And the white supremacists that are helping the state of Israel, knowing that the state of Israel is not even white. Holy fuck. They have taken all our races. They have taken all our economic, our banking, our system, our everything. It is true. I'm not making this up. So for us, for the country, for the world, look for President Gustavo Petro. He is an example for you idiots in Europe. Conquerors and all that stuff. Yeah, sure. It doesn't work that way anymore. In the 21st century, you idiots, governors and whomever control these European countries, which is nothing but the power of corruption and money and supremacy, which is a lie, who puts presidents that are idiots in charge and forget about the people. When it was Europe who once led the world through science to philosophy to mathematics, through Spinoza, Pascal, and many other mathematicians and philosophers. That is not only Isaac Newton. How many other thinkers who created calculus in Germany? How many others that have been replaced by rich idiots and bankers that only look for profit? Who's going to pay $150 billion in Canada so that Trump administration can protect us with the Golden Dome from the tyranny of, I don't know whom, Russia, China? The only tyrant here is the state of Israel, the United States of Israel. These are the worst enemies of the world right now. $150 billion from us Canadians to pay, and now they're saying that put artificial intelligence and create Elon Musk centers for computing that's going to cost a lot of it. It's going to use 400,000 people a year. Water, fresh water, like 250 billion liters of water is not enough. And we are going to run out of water pretty soon in Canada. The farmers are fighting for water. And the government is protecting these fools, idiots, and making associations with Donald Trump, with Kevin O'Leary, and all these shark tanks. Doesn't the name tell you something? You own nothing and be happy? You're gonna be just a slave? I don't think so. Revolution! Revolution. The wars for independence are back. I'm the only one that have said so in the last 11 years. For us, for the country, for the world. Hope to see you next time. The next edition of React Today is part of the World World Project. Stand Up Politics. This is Stand Up Politics. Au revoir. Bye bye. Hasta pronto. React Today.